Yeah, none of that was recording, so.
It wasn't recording?
No, but now it is, so that's okay.
What did
It
I
had
do?
you had paused it, and
Oh, yeah, I paused it before it went out. Yeah, okay.
yeah, but it wasn't back on, so it was still at that time.
All right, set it up on this corner of this thing here. And let's see what we can get.
Where are we looking at?
Right here, this is wood right there. Let me go get something for you to stand on. You can't see. Somewhere around here is a little. Yeah, right here. My problem is I do too much stuff. I know how to do too much stuff halfway.
Yeah, I can see that.
Jack of all trades. Oh.
It looks like you kind of started to do something and then you kind of never went through with it.
All right, go stand beside the bandsaw over there. Right there, beside the piece of wood. Okay, that's gonna work fine. Right there. Okay, is it recording?
Yes, is the time, look at the time.
Yeah, I see it blinking.
Going up?
The little red blinky light.
Yes.
This is the motor. I'm switching this motor for that one, so I'll have clean power. But
Do I look like it did this?
yeah, sure.
Show me your teeth.
Okay, have you ever used a bandsaw?
Yes.
Okay, cut your hand off.
Push it forward.
Here. We want to get this down as close to the work as you can. Still got plenty of room, because that way the guard protects your batter. You want to be sure you got clearance to get underneath the blade guides there. Pull it up a little bit. Okay. Now, you want to push it through. You don't want to get like this, so you'll break the blade or make it run off the track. You want to go straight. And this can help doing that. And this goes in that groove right there. And just kind of use that to help you keep it, from going straight.
Push it forward.
Yeah, that's all you do. You push it slow. If it starts straining, kind of put a hand on here and on there. And don't ever get close to the blade, okay? It'll work fine. Go ahead and push it a little bit and see what it feels like, yeah. And you gotta push kind of slow, because I don't have the big motor on it yet. It's in a good stable, a flat place where it's happy. That's gonna have to work right there. Yeah, okay, you're good. And I'll turn around and just push it slowly through. Go ahead and see what we get. And we did want to have, this is the good end. Let's go that way a little bit. Yeah, okay. Okay.
It just fell apart.
Well, that's why we don't want that.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to do the other end. It's making a funny noise. It's off the track.
Did I do that?
No, we just decided to. So, here's the dust collection, which I'm not using right now. It's not completely off. Maybe I did what I was supposed to do. Normally, you release the tension from the blade.
Do I need to move?
No, you're good. It's tracking now. I think it's not tracking. It's supposed to be in the middle of that.
Wheel?
Yeah. Well, that's funny, because I've been using this thing. I used it yesterday.
I broke it.
Huh?
So I broke it.
Now, there's an adjustment for the tracking. And sometimes when you move it up and down, there's a scrap. All right, there it is in the scrap box. It changes that angle just a little bit. But the thing was, I used it want to change, I had it set perfectly. And, see the blade guides underneath and on top. And it's gotta be back in those guides.
If there's a way I can help, just let me know. Kind of at a loss
No.
of how to help.
I'm not gonna get into how to use a bandsaw and that kind of thing. You can sit that here and kind of just rotate that by hand backwards like that. And take some of this tension off here.
Yeah, I can see it going back.
Doesn't take much on what I'm adjusting in the back here. What I'm adjusting is the tilt of this big wheel here. Keep on going, I want it in the middle of the wheel, but I don't
Just
want
tell
it.
me to stop.
Okay, let's see if we're in, this sits inside the guides now. See, these are your guides right here.
Mm-hmm.
And you want them not out to where the teeth are, but you want it, and this thing right here is the rear guide, and the blade goes against that. So I gotta go back a little bit further.
Keep turning.
Yeah. Just about do it. I'm gonna do one little bit more here. Okay. Let's stop with that. And have another go at it. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna turn it on without that up there and see if it runs true. This is a ball bearing here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you push against it, then it goes up and touches that ball bearing. And that takes the force of it going back that way. And probably it could be back just a little bit more. Or I could adjust the ball bearing out a little bit, which is what I'm gonna do, because we got it running, these are the tires, they're red rubber things, and it's running right on the tire, which is, right where we want it to run. I don't have a Allen wrench. We're gonna turn it around, let's go. We really can't do it. Well, a bandsaw is almost an adjunct to wood turning, because you're always gonna be needing it for something like this. Now, don't push way out past the edge of the table there. Yeah, keep your pushing down against the table and going through just like you did before.
Okay.
And keep your hand away from the front of it. Now, that's the,
There's a hole in it.
yeah, we'll work around that. We'll make that the bottom end of it, and the top, this is real solid here. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. We can make it a little shorter, but let's just go see what we can do with this. Here we go. Make sure it's still
It is.
recording, not finished, because there's not much memory on that one. I've been thinking, it doesn't have an accessory memory card in there. It's just running, like, it has one that's all full of pictures, I think, 32 gigabyte card. I think it's running only on the internal memory.
Well, if you have like an extra USB here, we can go to the computer and upload it onto the USB, and we can delete it from the phone, so you still have more storage.
Yeah, we can do that. Simplest thing to do is get my wife's phone, but we have two phones.
One
Yeah.
for the bros and one for the hoe.
You want to figure out what's the approximate
I'm gonna go put
center?
this up.
Yeah. Good. Okay, did you use a center finder?
Yes.
They work great on something that's already around.
Yeah.
Something like this, it's just
Kinda
a
hard.
guess. So you just sit it on there and draw you a few lines, and then end up, if you draw at least 3 lines, you'll have a triangle in there, and hope that you got it. Just, you do it. It doesn't have to go all the way across, you just do the middle part, really. Now, what are we going to have?
The center's like right there.
Yep, pretty close. This is a drive spur. Can you tell where the bat is?
This is one.
Oh yeah, that's the corner, but where's
The middle is right here. Right there.
That's not where you'd put it right there?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, you want to take it right in and just whack the heck out of it with that wood mallet.
Oh, so this is what this is for.
Yeah, you don't
You're gonna
want
hold it and I'm gonna try not to hit you.
Go ahead. Okay, that's good.
Oh, it's lopsided now.
Well, we'll get it straight. Here, let me have this, and you kind of get it straight. Now, don't split the whole piece of wood with it. But that wood is quite soft, and that's
There
probably
we
good
go. I
enough.
think that's good.
Yeah. Sometimes this is, they make different sizes of these things, but this is the biggest one I have. And a bigger one, of course, would be better on this softer wood, because if you...
Has less, like more surface to put.
Yeah.
To distribute the force.
Right, you know all of that. So anyway, this is what drives the piece of wood, and if you jam the tool into it and make it stop, this will keep turning, and
It'll cut into it.
Cut into it and everything. So that's why you always want to come in really slow to give the tool enough time to cut. Now this, to move the tailstock, this locks it, and that locks it. There's a thing up underneath that pulls up against the bottom of the lathe. And this lathe is old. It's really old. I don't know how old, because it was old when I bought it.
When did you buy it?
Well, a fella who is an expert woodworker lives about 30 miles from here. He's a veterinarian, and he inherited these from a friend of his who had died and helped him with woodworking. And he had 2 old lathes he put on Craigslist. This is what we're after now. We'll sit here. And go ahead and move that back. We'll mount that on the lathe.
Do I still need to wear this right now?
Yeah, you wear it all the time. You got it on backwards. Turn it around, put the foam part here. That goes across the bridge of your nose. Put it behind your ears. And bend that around the bridge of your nose like that. So you do it to wherever it fits you pretty good. You get a reasonably good seal that way.
Reasonable good seal.
Okay. Now this won't move near as easy as that nice one. And this, you just jam it in there.
Yeah.
That's a Morse taper. You've heard these terminologies?
No, but I know how it works.
Okay. This is a number 2 Morse taper. They come in number 1 and number 3, different sizes. You jam it in good and bring your tailstock up. And find the middle. What do you guess to be the middle?
I guess it
You
should
could have used a center finder.
Yeah, we could have.
But, okay, now, not too much. Now, you got to lock that down first, and then this locks your spindle, and that's got to be unlocked so you can turn it easy. Now, what you want to do now?
It's just going straight in like it's butter.
Yeah, it is. It's real soft. Cedar's soft wood. You want to turn this.
Make sure it's not going to hit it.
Oh, yeah, we're absolutely making sure it's not going to hit, but also see if you think you've got it reasonably in the center, and I think you have. And so you want the tool wrist to span the length of the wood, which was about perfect there. Of course, that moves this up and down. You shouldn't need to move it. It's actually kind of high, it seems like. This is the speed control. It's not an electronic speed control. It's a thing that varies the diameter of the two pulleys, the driven pulley and the drive pulley. If you got a small drive pulley and a large driven pulley, then it goes slower. And I'm not going to get into how that works either, but it's a mechanical thing, and you can't just crank down on it. It has to be turning. So we've already verified that this is not hitting anywhere. So I'm going to flip it on, and I'm putting pressure down on there to get it down to as slow as it'll go. See how it's moving it? That's as slow as this lathe will go. It's a big drawback to this old lathe.
That's really weird.
You can't go any slower unless you change pulleys down in there, which is
A lot of work.
well, you can't just do it at will. You got to take things apart to change them. So it had 3 options of speeds, and this is the slowest option. So when you get ready to go, I'm ready for you to go. What are you going to use to make it round?
I'm gonna use.
You got a choice of all of those and all of these in the box here.
Well, I feel like these are cheaper, so if I were to mess something up, I'd rather mess something up that's cheaper.
You're not going to mess them up on that cedar. Don't worry about that. What you worry about is messing yourself up. If you jab it in there at the wrong angle and it flips the handle up and breaks
my
your
face.
jaw or takes out a few teeth,
You know what? You're a dentist. You can fix me right up, right?
I quit that.
Okay, but
All right, look. When you go into it, you want to slowly go down. You never go like that,
okay.
or it'll jam. And if this is down too low, or if you go with it at that
I'll
angle,
push it up.
it'll flip on up. And boy, you just don't want that to happen. It ruin your work too. So you want to go in and a lot of times you hear people talk about riding the bevel. You know, go in but at this stage, you can't really do that. It's not round enough. So you just got to hold it about like this.
So when I get to this knot, should I expect extreme?
You just got to go slower. You just got to go slower when you get to that. And at first, it's going to be hitting and bing, bing, bing. You know, just like the one you did yesterday. And if you ever wonder, does that tool need sharpening? Then it needs sharpening. If it enters your mind, and remember, you're cutting like this. You're not just like that.
But that's how you start, right?
Yeah. But at first, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference because you're not really going to do any slicing. You're just knocking it off. Now I'm going to see what that knot does before we start. You got to get your mask. Not that one. There's another better one that I had out for you. One that you can really see through.
I don't remember moving it. This black one?
Yeah, that one. Okay, you wear that. I'm not going to put one on. Famous last you right at first. See there? But anyway, go ahead and start, and when you get there, take it easy, and it'll do okay. See, that's what it's looking at, because with all of that noise and everything, we just took that little bit off. Now, let me see. This bigger one might be a little bit better and easier. Isn't that the smaller of the two? Yeah. Go ahead and use this one to start. And here's your off and on switch. this, and it hits, if you're cutting on this top side of this arc right here, you don't want to do that because it'll tend to do that. If you cut off the bottom side of the arc that it's making, when it goes down and exerts force down, then the tool rest is taking the force.
So cut with this part?
So yeah, so you want to kind of use the bottom part, not this top 2/3 of it, but the bottom third, so that when it goes down and hits, it can't rotate. But up on that side, you know, and you're like that. Okay, so try it kind of at this angle right here instead of right out perpendicular. There. Okay. You're getting there. You got a good ways to go, but
Yes.
you've come a long way. Now, feel this. Feel it, just rotate it a little bit gently, back and forth. Yeah. Can you feel it? It's turning, the center is cut into it right there. The drive spur, so you want to loosen this and tighten your spindle a little bit. Just kind of push it down this way just a little bit more. Yeah, okay, good. And always make sure that's tight, because if it's not, it'll push this whole carriage back that way. Now, check up there and see if it's recording while you take a short break there.
Oh, I was just checking what time it is. Yes, it's still recording.
Okay. It doesn't look like it's pointing at us very well.
It
but
is.
guess
I think it is.
That's a
I'm
pretty wide angle, I guess.
It is. It works. I'm looking.
Okay, just continue what you're doing. You've got to go all the way down. And I've got a box of Kleenex over there. You want me to get it?
Oh, it's too much effort.
Huh?
I've got to get this done. See the space you got here? You got 3/4 of an inch or so. Wait a minute now. It's going to be better if you just take this off and get it more down toward a uniform cylinder. Then you can move this up closer. I guess focus on this side.
Just go ahead and work on that end a little bit there. Just go ahead and, get that down.
I got wood shavings in my shirt.
It goes down all the way down to my toes.
Oh, God.
That's why it's down there. See, it's catching on these little pieces right here. You kind of have to come at it a little bit. You can use a parting tool and go on in. You hurt yourself?
It was just kind of hitting the back of my hand, but that's okay.
Ultimately, you'll want to go in there with a parting tool. But right now, let's just go ahead and move the banjo up and get the tool rest up closer. It helps to wiggle it like you're doing. Get it up as close as you can get it, really, and not hit it. And that just avoids having to move it a lot of different times. Okay, now you can do that, or just hit it with your hand, the heel of your hand. It seems like you're good. Ever going to make a bowl out of this, of course, but see how this is at an angle, the end of it. You see what it's not perpendicular to the center of this. See?
So what we do there?
You can go right in here with a parting tool, or anything you want, any tool that you can cut in grain with. And what's happening is you're hitting this, and then then you're cutting air. See? And now I'm hitting it. This is the air part, and when that comes out, so you're getting that chattering. So if you go ahead and just cut that end on down,
like you were gonna make a bowl and put a spindle on it or something, and just cut. Let me just show you. Where's the parting tool? There's one here. Had it earlier. No, that's the bowl gouge there. This is it right here. It's probably sharp enough for that. See that piece sticking out there? Cut right in here, just out of that. The parting tool will vary this angle as you get further down. It will maintain the same angle between the cutting edge and the piece that's spinning. As it gets in smaller diameter, you gotta come in like that. Start out like that. Now that I've made that, so you got a straight surface right there. And what I'll do sometimes is I'll cut it a little deeper and just knock these pieces off out of the way. When you're using the parting tool, this one being the diamond shape, it doesn't bound in that groove as bad as the one that's straight. But sooner or later, when you get in about that far, you have to come in, widen your groove a little bit.
So coming in from this way and then
Well,
that way.
You can come right in, but just move over. I think what he said was a 32nd of an inch. Now, cedar doesn't turn like a lot of other woods, and you're probably not ever going to get a stream of shavings coming off like on the other wood. It tends to chip. You know, it's kind of brittle that way. So you're going to just get a bunch of chips. Yeah, you'll get a little one, but you probably don't expect to get what you'll see on that video you're going to watch. Now, we're going to just open this up a little bit so we'll move over to right now. What I'm doing is making the hole a little bit wider. So it won't bind. And I go a little deeper, and then I'll come back and make it a little wider. But now what we're going to do, what the purpose of this is to eliminate that part on the end here. Go out that way. Make it come off. I was saying I'll do sometimes. Now it's real obvious. See what you were hitting. See how that's out. And this is completely in. But you want it, if it's nice and parallel, it won't give you that trouble. Where's the mallet? Well, I'm doing it with my fingers. And I just go in and get these pieces off. You know, like, if it's not going to mess up your work or anything, it's no use trying to